What is up, guys? DZ here, and if you were coming from Davinator's video, you already know what we're doing. But if you're not, and if you haven't checked out his channel, check the link in the description. It'll be listed there, although I assume most of you have already heard of him. And today, what we are doing, and what we have been doing over the course of 2 different videos, is we are talking about the top 10 bunny Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now, as we mentioned in the last video that you can check out, we were thinking about some bunnies recently. We were talking about a bunny, and I thought that it'd be kind of fun to make a top 10 list of the bunny-specific Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now, there aren't a lot of them, but the 10 that made it on here, no doubt, are the cream of the crop. Introduce yourself if you want to.
Hey guys, it's Davinator. If you came from my video, great, because that's the order you should do it in, because otherwise you're getting the better cards first, and that doesn't make any sense. So
yeah, if you want to go through the meta relevant cards first and then hop back to the toon garbage, that's on his channel.
But coming in at number 5, I guess I'll do the honors here, is Banila. Banila is a great card. Apparently, this rabbit's got a sweet tooth. He's on a quest for the world's sweetest carrot and just wants to nibble carrots all day, today, tomorrow, and the day after that. And he's just adorable. Why is this on your half of the list? This thing sucks. This thing's adorable.
Banila should be number 1. Why did we not put it number 1? Banila is way more competitive than Bujin Hair that was in like a top 16 Nats deck list.
Banila has got it's a level 1. It's an Earth and it's a Beast, so there's some solid raccoon gimmicks.
Yeah,
with
obedient
that,
schooled.
It's got a surprisingly high defense for a level 1, and it's that good 150 2050 stat line. So whenever you have to do like life points in your head, it's a big pain in the ass. So
I would draft it in Battle Pack 3 for sure if they rotated that in there. 2050 defense is overpowered. Anyway, coming in at number 4, Wind Up Rabbit, just slightly more competitively relevant than Banila. Wind Up Rabbit appeared in Wind Ups, obviously. It was really powerful when it came out, and Wind Ups prior to Wind Up Rabbit and Wind Up Shark being released weren't very powerful at all. Even though they had cards like Wind Up Magician, they just didn't do anything. But Rabbit in a combination... Oh yeah, for sure. But with Factory, I mean, Wind Up Rabbit plus Wind Up Factory was one of the best turn 1 openings back in the day, which might not seem great, but it set up your Magician's Shark combo on a 2-turn clock, and they were just really annoying to deal with, and they were also in the infamous Chain Beat deck.
One of my favorite decks of all time.
Yeah, I kind of figured that because like the Black Garden stuff. But if you guys don't know what Chain Beat is, basically you would use Black Garden to reduce everything to low attack points. But then you could use Wind Up Rabbit and Evil Swarm Thunderbird to bounce out of the field. Oh, wait, that's why it bounces, because it's a rabbit.
Yeah,
holy shit.
And then it comes back because it returns the field. It's not summoned to the field. And so it maintains its original stat line, so you can beat over all the stuff that your opponent happened to summon and get its attack halved, as well as you can. It's because it's actually a quick effect, which is really neat. You can chain it to traps, so you can kind of get around crap like Torrential Tribute and stuff, and actually not lose a monster.
Yeah, and the cheesiest combo was compulsory escape device,
yeah.
Which both players shuffle a card on their side of the field, or shuffle a monster from their side of the field back in the deck, and you could activate it with Rabbit on the field and then just tag Rabbit out, and your opponent would still have to shuffle their stuff. It was really funny. That deck was super annoying, but fun to play.
All right, an actual good card: Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. So this card is 50% Rabbit. It's also, I guess, 50% Ghost Ogre, whatever the hell that is. But the Rabbit portion, which, oh my god, it's actually not the little imp chick. I think it's that
the little
thing
white
in the
thing.
background, that the spirit, the Snow Rabbit. This card is great. Level 3 Psychic Tuner, all you could want. That's also a hand trap. When a monster on the field activates its effect, or when a spell or trap that's already face up on the field activates its effect, this is a quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field, a lot of people forget that second one, to destroy that card on the field. Sure, it does negate, but for continuous stuff like Pendulum Scales, continuous face-up spells and traps, it might as well negate because it makes them all fizzle. And sometimes, even though that monster got to use its effect, the fact that you're just killing it is more valuable than just, say, like straight negating it with Valor.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is one of the most competitive hand traps of all the I don't even know if that's like a series of cards, but between like Ghost Reaper and Ash Blossom, yeah, for sure. And definitely, I think most people can agree that like a Snow Rabbit is just like leagues cooler than a Joyous Spring. I don't know what Ash Blossom. Like what kind of dumb sidekick is a Joyous Spring? It's like, who did you bring along with you? Oh, I brought this whole spring of water with me. It's just
but we can't go anywhere though.
Oh yeah, because they got to stay by the the spring. Jeez. Anyway, number 2 is Zoodiac Bunny Blast. Now I know what you're thinking. I've never heard of this card before, but let me tell you that Zoodiac Bunny Blast, while it hasn't had a ton of TCG success, it was very successful in OCG builds and still is, and the very few people that are, those brave soldiers that are still playing Zoodiacs with like every card banned.
The people who actually like the deck?
Yeah, the people that like one card rank 4 exceeds that don't really do anything. But yeah, so Zoodiac Bunny Blast is sort of like a Ram alternative. Basically, when it's destroyed, you can add a Zoodiac card back from your graveyard to your hand. That can grab anything, including Barrage, which is kind of neat. We saw this pop up, I mean, in the TCG, pretty much only in a couple True King variants of Zoo. But I'm sure hopefully the ban list will be out by the time this video gets uploaded. It won't be, but maybe by the time the ban list comes, Zoodiacs are a lot more hit, and we might actually see Bunny Blast come out. And it gives your Zoodiac monsters a sort of neat spell card dodge effect, but more importantly, when it's destroyed, you get to add the Zoo monster back to your hand, or Zoo card back to your hand.
Plus, she's got a big gun with a football shoved on it.
Yeah, she's the card in Zoodiac Barrage. If you were wondering who that crazy lunatic was, it's Bunny Blast.
Coming in at number 1 is probably the most meta-relevant card on the entire list and the actual really solidly good card that we have. And hey, it's a rabbit. It's Rescue Rabbit. This little rabbit with a walkie-talkie and a helmet on his head with a nice pair of anime goggles is probably the most relevant card on the list as far as meta competitiveness is concerned. And it's also part of the titular Dino Rabbit deck. And this thing is also one of the best +1s in the game that's actually a real +1.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier how this is like one of the very few one-card rank 4s that don't require any setup. Of course, there's a lot of one-card rank 4s that require some setup, but outside of Rescue Rabbit, pretty much Shiranui Solitaire is it, because cards like Satellar Knight Altair and even like a Debris Dragon for Mythic Tree Dragon, those all require cards in the graveyard already, where Rescue Rabbit, I mean, we have a lot of one-card rank 3 options. I mean, there's Terratop, there's Tour Guide, there's Galaxy Worm, there's the Predaplants, but as far as rank 4s, pretty much just Rescue Rabbit.
And not only that, but you could also do, level 4 lower, so you can even get 3s, 2s, and I guess a 1.
Banila, you can get Banila.
You can get Banila!
That's amazing. But yeah, that's going to round up our list here. If you have not seen 10 through 6 and you want to go back and see the garbage cards,
the Garbo,
feel free to go check out Davinator's channel. The link will be in the description once again. And thanks so much for coming on here. Check them out. Please do it.
Thanks for having me. All right, finishing up the list here is probably the most iconic and clearly actual, really solidly good card on the list with no arguments. That would be your Rescue Rabbit. This guy is great. He has been, totally meta-relevant in several famous decks, including the titular Dino Rabbit. I'm going to restart this one.
Okay.
I'm tired.
You're fine.
I've been working like 50-hour weeks. This sucks. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Coming in at number 1 is probably the most right? Nope. Coming in at number 1 is probably the most meta-relevant card on the entire list and the actual really solidly good card that we have. And hey, it's a rabbit. It's Rescue Rabbit. This little bunny with a helmet and a walkie-talkie has been in several really famous decks, including the titular Wind-Up Rabbit, because it's actually a really,
You just said Wind-Up Rabbit.
I did fuck. I can use that intro though.